If your organisation has some form of case management for either internal or external customers, then let me show you how Automation Anywhere can save you many hours of tedious and frustrating work. Support or field service cases will typically be created for many different purposes. Therefore, the first step to automatically processing a case is to understand what is being requested by each case. We can do that with a machine learning model that is trained to classify cases based on the case description text. For this demonstration, I created some data for a fictitious telco or internet provider. I chose 3 different types of cases they might expect to receive and typed up 16 different descriptions for each case. I was able to use that data to build a predictive model for text classification in the Google Cloud. But you could use any machine learning approach. Automation Anywhere is, after all, an integration platform. I was then ready to start on the automation logic. That was actually the easy part. Automation Anywhere is so easy to use that I was able to build the logic in about a day. First, I created an automation to fetch the list of open cases from Salesforce. Given the native integration with Salesforce, this was very simple, as you can see from this logic. Then I created another automation that calls the first bot you saw, and after connecting to Google Cloud and Salesforce, it loops through each Salesforce case and classifies the case by sending the description text to our Google machine learning model. Once the type of case involved has been determined, we can then perform all the checks and actions relevant to that sort of case. For instance, we can determine if we have all the necessary documentation and information required to proceed. We can look up related information in other systems, and if something is missing, we can create a workflow for a human user to follow up. We could book the necessary appointments into the diary of field service technicians and send out SMS notifications to customers. Really, the sky is the limit in terms of what we can automate to simplify handling of cases. For the purposes of this demonstration, what we've done is allocate the job to a field service technician based on mapping the case type to the technician's skills. This sort of automation would normally be scheduled to run periodically throughout the day, but let's kick it off manually. The Automation Anywhere control room can find an available bot runner computer for us, but in this case we'll choose the runner where we want the logic to be deployed. Here you can see the logic being executed on our bot runner computer. These are computers within the company network that are dedicated to running automation logic. It takes less than a minute to classify all the open cases in our CRM system. Note that while I'm using Salesforce for this demonstration, Automation Anywhere can integrate with any CRM or case management system. Now that the automation has completed, let's refresh our list of open cases. Before we ran the bot, the type field and contact were blank. Now you can see that our automation logic has classified each case and has allocated a field service technician based on their skills. If we take a look at one of the cases, you can see that the classification is correct based on the description text that's been entered by our support staff. Now that we've classified our cases and allocated field service technicians, what happens when somebody in the field finds a case that's been incorrectly allocated to them? Well, with automation embedded directly in the CRM interface, our field service technicians can simply trigger an automation workflow to reassign the case. This can provide feedback to update the machine learning model and can run the case details through the same logic once again to determine whether we have all the necessary documentation and information required to proceed. As you've seen, much of the work involved in managing cases can be automated, saving many hours of routine and tedious work. The automation workflow capabilities can be used to coordinate human workers and help them work together with their digital colleagues. Contact Automation Anywhere today and see how we can help you with your case management workload.